What's up, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in to another episode of Halftime with Dizzy. It's been a couple weeks. I've been traveling. I've been finishing up school. As you can see, I'm outside because I'm in beautiful California. I'm back home where it's nice and sunny, even though it's almost December. Gotta love it. Gotta enjoy it. Gotta embrace it. So I'm outside shooting this video, and there's a lot to talk about in the world of football. So let's get right into it. So yeah, man, a couple of days ago, I posted on my Instagram story to let me know some football opinions, football takes that y'all have. You know, this segment is called Holla at Me, and you guys definitely did that. You guys responded, got a lot of responses, and I'm grateful for that. Before we get into it, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe if you're new, share with a friend if you're not, and let's get right into it, man. Starting with my boy Matthew. He said, Oregon wins the national championship. Look, man, Oregon has arguably been playing the best football in the NCAA for the last few weeks, man. And what I'm most impressed with them about is their consistency. Usually when a team loses, you see them kind of sputter. We saw that with Alabama when they lost to Texas. We saw that with USC when they suffered their first loss. You see teams kind of sputter, but they've stayed consistent. I mean, the numbers say it right here. They're second in total offense, second in points scored, and yards per game. So if they can keep that consistency going, they definitely have a shot. I mean, they got to win this weekend against Washington, Pac-12 championship. I'm going to let you know who I'm picking later on in the video, but they got to win that game to make it into the big dance, and we'll see where they go from there. Next up, we got two comments about the University of Washington. It's from my boy George and from my boy Zeke. My boy George said UW Natty over Georgia, and my boy Zeke said UW winning the playoffs. Listen, I'm not gonna say it's not possible, but the player that has had us sold on Washington has been Michael Penix Jr., and he's kind of been a little inconsistent over the last few weeks. He's who makes that offense go, and his play at the beginning of the year is why we had him as a Heisman front runner, but he hasn't looked like that as of late. His first 5 games, he averaged 399 yards passing. The offense had 46 points per game, and he had a 92.06 QBR. In the last 5 games that he's played, those numbers have dropped. 264 yards passing, 35 points per game, and a 74.96 QBR. So his play has kind of declined, and you may wonder, well, how are they still undefeated then? The reason that they're still undefeated is because they just switched sides with the run game. The run game in the first 5 games averaged 61.8 yards, and in the last 5 games, they've averaged 123 yards on the ground. So what I'm trying to say is they need to mesh it together, and they need to be consistent in order to make a run into the playoffs, especially when you're going to play a Michigan or Georgia that are going to have great defenses. You got to be able to run the ball and throw the ball. There's been 2 times this year that UW has thrown for over 300 and has ran for over 100, and it was a win against ranked Utah and a win against, guess who else? Oregon. So if they want to make that run, they got to be able to have consistency on offense, and they got to have all 11 doing their job, and it starts with Michael Penix Jr. Next up, my boy Zeke, he said something else. He said, Jags giving the Chiefs the most comp in the AFC run this year. Well, Zeke, I know it's just your birthday. Happy birthday to you, man. You know we turned up this past weekend. It ain't your birthday no more, bruh. You are wrong. You are wrong in this statement right here, bruh. The Ravens are easily the biggest threat to the Chiefs in terms of the AFC playoff run. And the reason that is because if the Chiefs get home field advantage, let's just say hypothetically, there's a saying in football that in the playoffs, 2 things are most important, 2 things travel, and that's running game and defense. Well, the Ravens are first in rushing yards, they're second in total yards allowed on defense, and they're first in total sacks. So in terms of a complete team, a team that can really make a run in the playoffs and can take out the Chiefs, to me the Ravens are at the top of that list, especially with Lamar Jackson playing the way he's playing. The Ravens are easily the biggest threat to the Chiefs right now in the AFC. Moving on, my boy Ryan, he said, Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. There's no real, numbers or critique or analysis that I have to give other than you might want to see a doctor or something because you shouldn't be this delusional, if you know what I mean. Like, my boy Ryan, he goes to Arizona State, which is a party school. Look, I ain't gonna make no assumptions or anything like that. All I'm gonna say is make sure you watching your cup when you out at these parties because there's no way you should be saying things this crazy. There's no way the Cowboys are making the Super Bowl. The two teams that they're gonna have to go through, they already played. They got blown out by the Niners, and when they had a chance to win against the Eagles, they choked. They sold. So, nah, that ain't happening. Moving on, we had some comments about the MVP race in the NFL. My boy Nick said Dak MVP. My boy Chance said CJ Stroud is the MVP. And my boy Kyron said Tyreek Hill should win the MVP. Um, you know, three solid takes, but there's only one solid answer to it, and it's no. It's no. None of those three are going to win it. And let's start with Dak. The big moments I just mentioned. You played the Niners and you got blown out. You played the Eagles. You had two drives late in the game to go win the game for your team, and Dak did not do that. In that same game, the Cowboys defense held the Eagles to no points in the fourth quarter. So again, you had an opportunity to go be the hero and to go win the game for your team, and you didn't do that. So to me, you can't be the MVP if you're not going to show up in those big moments. In terms of CJ Stroud, I think the Texans' record in the end is going to hurt Stroud's MVP chances just because I know that plays a part. I think they're 5-6 right now. So I think if they have like a subpar record, then it's going to be hard for him to win MVP. But he's hands down the offensive rookie of the year. I mean, you don't even have to put offense, defense on. He's the rookie of the year. There's no debate about that. I just don't think he will be able to capture the MVP award. And for Tyreek, I hear you on that for sure. He's been balling, but the MVP is a quarterback award, and that's just facts. I mean, think of all the all-time great receivers. Think about all the all-time great seasons that receivers have had, and you haven't seen a receiver win the most valuable player in the National Football League. So I'm not gonna say Tyreek will win it, but I think he definitely should be the Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's the front runner for that, and I predicted that earlier in the year, so let's not forget that. But with that, man, I like to tell you my MVP race right now. It's three guys in my opinion. It's Jalen Hurts, it's Patrick Mahomes, and it's Lamar Jackson in my opinion. Jalen Hurts because of the opposite of Dak Prescott. He's clutch. He shows up in those big moments and the strength of schedule. Let's not forget Dallas looks good, or Dak Prescott looks good lately. But who have they played? They played the Panthers, the Commanders, and the Giants. Those three teams have a combined 9-26 record right now. I mean, I think I can do well against those teams lining up at quarterback with the team that Dallas has. So, but with Jalen Hurts, they played the Cowboys, they've played the Dolphins, they played the Bills. If you don't have a good quarterback, you're not 10-1 right now, and that's what the Eagles are. And I think definitely if they can get a win over the Niners this weekend, that'll definitely put him as the front runner in the MVP race. So Jalen Hurts is there. Ruin that damn video, bro. Anyways, Patrick Mahomes, he is also in that conversation, and it's because, again, what I've alluded to in the past, he doesn't have anyone outside of Travis Kelce to throw the ball to. If you're somehow still 8-3, given not having the weapons, you got to be in the MVP race. I mean, I look at it like this. If you take Patrick Mahomes and you put him on the Dallas Cowboys, do they have a loss right now? If you take Patrick Mahomes and put him on the Miami Dolphins, do they have a loss right now? I think that given that he doesn't have much to work with, but is still 8-3 and one of the top teams in the AFC, might end up getting the first round bye again, he definitely should be in the MVP race. And lastly, Lamar Jackson, because again, the award is most valuable player. The way he runs, the way he throws, the way he's playing right now. The Ravens are always known for having a good defense and a good running game, but it's not until Lamar Jackson takes him to the next level with his play that they actually make a run in the playoffs. So, just some numbers real quick. Lamar Jackson, he's 12th in passing yards right now, and among running backs, he's 23rd. There's 32 starting running backs in the NFL. He's 23rd in rushing. So, just to give a little context of the value that he has, he's practically two positions in one. So I think that he's definitely worthy of being in the MVP conversation. That's my MVP race right now. Last one, my boy Kyron, he also said that Brock Purdy is a top 10 QB in the NFL. Yeah, I'll give you that, but to me it's by default because of all the dang backup quarterbacks and rookie quarterbacks that are playing right now. With all the injuries that have happened, by default, Brock Purdy is in there. I think Brock Purdy is a product of his environment. I was one that kind of got caught with the recency bias when he was looking good at the beginning of the year. I was saying, oh yeah, he's a top dog. But then he had that little stretch where, Debo's questionable, McCaffrey and Trent Williams, they're questionable, stuff like that. And Brock Purdy didn't look the same. So, I think now his recent play, yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback, but I also kind of think it's by default with guys like Rodgers, Burrow. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Kirk Cousins, but he was playing really good football before he got hurt. Those are three guys you probably could have put ahead of Brock Purdy. But just because we're talking about it, here are my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now where we stand. And you can kind of interchange the order, but it's Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, and then for that last spot, I got Jared Goff and Geno Smith kind of tied 10A and 10B. But, yeah, appreciate everybody for sending in a response. Again, I'm going to keep doing this. I love interacting with you guys. I love hearing what you guys think and what you have to say, and I hope you feel the same way about me. Let's move on to some pick'ems, man. Some big-time matchups in the NFL, and we all know the one that we want to see the most is this weekend on Sunday, 49ers at Eagles. Man, there's been a lot of talk about this game, especially because the Eagles are actually underdogs, the first 10-1 team to be underdogs at home in, I think it said, in NFL history. So, this is a big game, and all eyes are going to be on this game. I'm going to go ahead and hop on that bandwagon, and I'm going to take the Niners. I think the way that they are they're hungry for this game, because you look at all the stuff that's been said over the last year, they truly feel as if they had just a quarterback. It didn't have to be Brock or Jimmy G. If they just had someone who played the position quarterback last year in that NFC Championship game, they would have been in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And so they still have a sour taste in their mouth after that. And I think they're going to come in with a vengeance with that lethal D-line. Purdy's going to have all his weapons. And so I think they're going to get the job done, especially because the Eagles have kind of been up and down defensively. So I think they've been on a hot run, but I think it comes to an end this weekend. I got the Niners winning this game on the road. Next up, Broncos at Texans. I'm going to say we're going to keep letting Russ cook. They've been winning. I think they won 5 straight now. Hey, I don't know what he cooking, but it's smelling good right now. So I'm going to take the Broncos to win on the road. And lastly, Thursday Night Football, Seahawks at Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's playing well. We'll see if he does it again against a slightly better defense than what he's been playing the last few weeks. Cowboys defense is, of course, one of the best in the league. Geno said he's not writing back, but he might pick up the pen a little bit. But so I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game at home on Thursday night. Moving on, college football championship weekend. It's a lot of good games, man. And I think the biggest one that everyone's going to be looking at is the Pac-12 championship. Number 3, Washington versus number 5, Oregon. Man, I've been going back and forth with this one. I don't know who to pick. Right now, my mind, my heart is telling me to take the Oregon Ducks to win this game. I know my boy Dyson, who goes to University of Washington, plays on the team, number 21. He gonna be pissed when he see this. He might not talk to me for a little bit, but I'm sorry. I gotta pick them. The way that Oregon has been playing, they've been playing the best in the country for the last few weeks. And Washington has kind of been up and down, barely winning games that they should be, kind of blowing teams out. And so I'm going to take Oregon to win this game and get into the college football playoffs. Next up, the SEC Championship. Number 1, Georgia versus number 8, Alabama. Everyone's trying to write this narrative for Alabama to get in. Oh, well, if they win this game, then they're in. Like, everyone keeps talking about it, and it's kind of annoying me. We don't need to see Alabama in every football playoffs. The playoffs will be just fine without them. They're going to lose this weekend. I got Georgia winning this game. I think Kirby Smart has Saban's number, and I think he has the guys to get it done, and I think they do it again and remain the kings of the SEC. Last one, the ACC Championship. Number 4, Florida State, going to take on number 15, Louisville. I thought, shoot, let's spice it up a little bit. Let's shake things up a little bit. I'm going to take Louisville to win this game. Neutral site plus no Jordan Travis for Florida State. I'm going to take Louisville to win this game and really shake things up for the college football playoffs. Lastly, we got the halftime speech. The way we end every video, you already know. It's a little message to help get you through the rest of your day, week, month, whatever it is that you need help with. This is what this is for. And with Thanksgiving in mind, as it just passed, happy holidays to everybody. With that in mind, my message today is just to remember to thank who blessed you with whatever it is you're thankful for. And that's the man above. That's God, man. And it says in Psalms 24, verses 1 and 2, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. He founded it on the seas and established it on the waters. Everything that we have, it was given to us directly from God. They're blessings from God, and we need to remember to thank Him when we sit here and we talk about how thankful we are. It's one thing to tell, hey, I'm thankful for this, hey, I'm thankful for that. It's another thing to, sit, whether it's by ourselves, get on our knees, whatever it is, and thank God for everything that He's given us, because that's the only way we'll be able to receive more, is if we recognize what He's given us and we continue to be thankful and we serve Him and we just continue to move in a way that reflects Him and His word. So that's just kind of something that's been on my heart all weekend, especially again with Thanksgiving. I know there's been so much that I'm thankful for. As always, I'm thankful for you guys for watching, whether it's 10 of y'all, 20 of y'all, 20,000, it doesn't matter. I'm always going to be thankful. This is a blessing. You guys are helping me grow. You guys are helping me become better at what it is I want to be my job in the future. And so I'm forever thankful for that. Again, if you haven't already, please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you're following me on all the socials and just stay tuned. I have another video for you real soon.